What if I told you that Horrid Henry, the kid we all love, isn't just a troublemaker? What if his so-called horrid behavior is hiding something much deeper, like autism? That's right. Fans of the books and the TV show have been debating a wild theory. Could Henry actually be autistic? Is his mischief more than just rebellion? Stick with us because by the end of this video, you might never see Henry the same way again.
Got to take something so we can bury it. Bury it? Yes. We're making a time capsule.
Why don't you take one of your other toys?
No! I don't want to give anything else away. I want to take my slime in.
Before we go into the specifics of Horrid Henry's behavior, let's clarify what autism spectrum disorder is. ASD is a developmental disorder characterized by challenges with social skills, repetitive behaviors, speech, and nonverbal communication. It's important to note that autism exists on a spectrum. Individuals can exhibit varying degrees of symptoms and abilities. Henry often finds himself in trouble for his behavior, which raises questions about his mental health and social interactions. Some fans argue that his actions may stem from deeper issues related to autism or other behavioral disorders like ADHD. Just like shown in the previous clip, Henry doesn't like going to school, which might raise some questions about his social skills.
That's enough, Henry!
For those who grew up with Horrid Henry, you know the drill. He's loud, cheeky, and unapologetically horrid. But is that all he is? Or is there something about his personality, his quirks, his obsessions, that points to something deeper?
And I jammed it, so there. It's mine!
Dad! Henry took my toast!
Oh, Henry, give Peter his toast back.
Dad! Henry stood on Floppy's tail!
Henry!
Think about this. Why does Henry always fixate so intensely on things like his band, the Killer Boy Rats? Why does he struggle to play by the rules, even when it would benefit him? Keep these questions in mind as we dive into the theory that's turning the internet upside down. So, what exactly makes fans think Horrid Henry could be autistic? Autism, or autism spectrum disorder, is a developmental condition that affects how people communicate, behave, and perceive the world. It's a spectrum, meaning traits can vary widely from person to person. But here's where it gets interesting. Henry exhibits several behaviors that line up with autism. Let's break them down.
Put it down, Henry!
Henry! Turn it down!
How could you be so horrid, Henry? You've disgraced the entire family and you've made your brother look like a complete idiot.
I only wanted to ask.
I am so ashamed of you. This is positively the last wedding I am ever taking you to!
First up, Henry's love for his favorite band, the Killer Boy Rats. This isn't just casual fandom. Henry is obsessed. He sings their songs, collects their merchandise, and talks about them nonstop. Fans have pointed out that this kind of deep, focused interest is a hallmark of autism, often referred to as a special interest. It's not just a hobby, it's a passion that brings comfort and joy.
Henry, you haven't forgotten Steve's birthday tea party on Saturday, have you?
But the cup final's on Saturday.
I know. That's why I'm reminding you. We're going to Aunt Ruby's for tea.
But Mum!
Tea, Henry, not football.
Next, let's talk about Henry's social interactions, or lack thereof. Have you ever noticed how Henry often misunderstands social cues? He doesn't seem to pick up on when others are annoyed, and his responses are usually impulsive or unexpected. Social challenges like this can be common in people with autism, who might find it difficult to read facial expressions or interpret tone of voice. But here's the real kicker. Could Henry's defiance actually be his way of coping with a world that feels overwhelming? Hold that thought, we're getting to the juicy part.
Henry, you come out of that toilet now, or I'll give all your toys away, and you won't have any pocket money until you're 94 and a half!
Alright, let's get specific. To truly understand this theory, we need to look at some of Henry's most iconic moments. These episodes and storylines give us a closer look at his behavior, and they might just blow your mind. In this episode, Henry tries to be the perfect child for a whole day. But guess what? It goes differently than planned. No matter how hard he tries, his idea of ideal aligns differently from what others expect. Fans have interpreted this as a struggle with understanding unwritten social rules, a challenge that many autistic people face daily. let's talk about Horrid Henry and the Secret Club. Henry creates his club, which is complete with strict rules and rituals. While it's easy to dismiss this as Henry being controlling, fans argue it could reflect a need for structure and predictability, a trait often associated with autism. And who could forget the infamous food fight in Horrid Henry Eats Out? Henry's extreme reaction to being forced to eat food he doesn't like has been interpreted as sensory sensitivity, a common characteristic of autism. For some people, certain textures, smells, or tastes can be overwhelming, and Henry's reaction is spot on.
Henry, we're entering the happiest family ever competition.
What?
The happiest family ever. Aren't we, Dad?
Yes, Peter, we are.
No way!
Henry, you will make this work, or else TV will be a very distant memory for you.
Still not convinced? Wait until we talk about how Henry's creative thinking fits into this puzzle. You'll see what I mean in a second. One of the most fascinating aspects of Henry's character is his creativity. Whether he's scheming to avoid schoolwork or coming up with the ultimate prank, Henry's ability to think outside the box is unmatched. Fans have pointed out that this kind of innovative thinking is often a strength in autistic individuals. Their unique perspective on the world allows them to solve problems in ways others might not consider. One counterpoint is that Henry's traits are part of his larger-than-life personality. His tantrums, schemes, and rivalries are exaggerated to make him memorable, not to hint at a deeper neurological condition. Another argument is that authorial intent matters. If Francesca Simon didn't create Henry with autism in mind, does the theory hold any weight? Well, here's the thing. Even if the creators didn't intend it, fans have the power to interpret characters in ways that resonate with them. That's the magic of storytelling, whether or not the theory is true. For fans on the autism spectrum, seeing elements of their experience reflected in a character like Henry can be incredibly validating. It's a reminder that neurodiversity comes in all shapes and sizes, and sometimes it's hidden in plain sight. So what do fans think? The theory has sparked debates on Reddit, YouTube, and fan forums. One Reddit user shared how their autistic sibling saw themselves in Henry's intense passions and rebellious streak. Another fan pointed out that Henry's constant battle with authority could reflect the struggles autistic kids face in rigid school systems. Some users highlight how autistic individuals can have good social skills, emphasizing that autism is a spectrum where individuals vary widely in abilities. Others share personal experiences, finding aspects of Henry's character relatable to their own lives or those of loved ones. These comments illustrate how viewers connect with Horrid Henry on a deeper level, recognizing traits that resonate with their experiences or those of loved ones. While the focus has been on autism, it's essential to consider other potential diagnoses. Many fans speculate that Henry exhibits symptoms consistent with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. His impulsive behavior, difficulty focusing on tasks like homework, and tendency towards hyperactivity align with ADHD traits. But here's the twist. Could this theory change how we approach kids like Henry in real life? Let's wrap this up with some final thoughts. So, is Horrid Henry autistic? While we may never get an official answer, the clues are certainly intriguing. Whether you're Team Autism Theory or Team Mischief Maker, one thing's clear. Henry's character is deeper and more complex than we ever realized. Here's a question to blow your mind. What if Horrid Henry knew he was different? How would that change the way he saw himself and interacted with the world around him? While the books and show never dive into Henry's inner thoughts at this level, let's explore what it might mean for his character to have self-awareness about these potential traits. Could Henry's rebellion be a defense mechanism? Think about it. Henry often lashes out when things don't go his way, or when he feels misunderstood. Could this be his way of coping with a world that doesn't quite make sense to him? For many autistic individuals, the frustration of being misunderstood can lead to behaviors that look like defiance but are actually cries for understanding.
Arthur?
Peter, think about it. With me gone, the Purple Hang Gang's going to need a new Lord High Excellent Majesty. And I was thinking...
Oh, yeah.
So, you won't be telling Mum and Dad, will you?
No.
And you will look after Fang?
No.
Now imagine this. If Henry understood that his quirks and passions were part of what made him unique, how would that change his story? Maybe he'd channel his creative thinking into even bigger and bolder projects, not just pranks, but meaningful pursuits. His love for structure could help him excel in areas like music, science, or even leadership roles within his chaotic world. Here's a game changer. What if Henry is officially diagnosed with autism? How would that shift the dynamics of the story, the way his family and teachers treat him, and even how we, as viewers and readers, perceive him?
Henry!
Yes, Mum?
Oh, there you are.
Looking for your mobile phone, Mum?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Henry.
The old what, Dad?
What are you doing here, Henry?
You said I could stay home, remember?
Did I?
Let's start with his parents and Perfect Peter. Henry's parents often scold him for being horrid, but if they understood that his actions might stem from sensory overload or a need for routine, they might approach him with more patience. Could this lead to a softer, more supportive side of the family we've never seen before? Maybe Peter would even stop rubbing his perfectness in Henry's face. Well, maybe not.
Oh, there you are, Henry. Miss Battleaxe missed you at school today and she said you're in big trouble and Mum and Dad are too because you didn't have a note and... What's that?
What about Henry's school? Miss Battleaxe is quick to label Henry a troublemaker, but with an autism diagnosis, the school might take a different approach. They could introduce tailored teaching methods to accommodate his unique way of learning. Imagine Henry thriving with the right support, not just surviving but excelling in ways no one ever expected. And here's a fun twist. How would a diagnosis influence Henry's adventures? Maybe he'd use his special interests, like the Killer Boy Rats, to organize a school talent show. Or perhaps he'd harness his creativity to solve problems for his classmates. It's fascinating to imagine how Henry's world could evolve with a deeper understanding of his personality. But here's the big question. Would a diagnosis take away from Henry's chaotic charm? Or would it make his journey even more relatable?
That's nice.
And Number Gnome 6 thought that she would ask Number Gnome 9 whether she wants to go with her.
That's nice.
No, it's not.
What did you say?
I said no, it's not. It's not nice. It's incredibly boring.
Don't be horrid, Henry.
I'm not being horrid. I'm just saying it's not nice.
Could the people around Henry, his family, teachers, and friends, learn to see his behavior in a new light? Would Perfect Peter finally cut him some slack? The possibilities are endless. What do you think? Could Henry's behavior point to autism, or is he just a kid who loves chaos? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into your favorite characters.